Welcome to Brian on Brass. And today we're going to answer a question that is, what is pressure and why is it bad? So, as a beginning brass musician, you might probably heard of the term pressure. So, what does pressure mean and why is it bad? So, what pressure refers to is the amount of pressure that you're having with the mouthpiece in relation to your mouth. So, what does pressure do? Well, for one, your lips is a muscle, and your lips is a muscle just like any other part of your body or any other muscle in your body, in that it can get tired, it can be strengthened, but it also can be abused. And when you have too much pressure on your lips is getting abused. You're abusing that muscle. So what does that look like? Well, typically what that looks like is the mouthpiece very, very heavily pressed against your face like this, to the point where it is impacting the inner muscles of your lip, and that you're feeling the force of the mouthpiece into your mouth itself. So why is this bad? Well, one, it breaks down your lips. It makes them harder to play on. Um, and contrary to popular belief, many will start playing with pressure because, hey, it allows me to get high notes much, much easier, which may be true temporarily. But what it's actually doing, it is breaking down the actual muscles needed in order to produce a good sound on your instrument. Another problem is that students may run into is they may not realize they're playing with a lot of pressure. And I know this from firsthand. So let's take, for instance, the trumpet, or in this case, the cornet. So I'm pretty sure you've heard your band director talk about it many times. Do not put your pinky in here. Do not put your pinky in the ring. Instead, put it on top of the ring itself. And I understand most students, beginning students, they won't put it in there because it's comfortable. And the reason why we do this, or why the reason why band directors tell you not to do this, is because this can easily facilitate bad posture, bad flexibility in your fingers, but more importantly, it can cause unnecessary pressure on from the instrument to your mouth. So, for instance, when I have it like this, my pinky has nowhere to actually push the instrument towards me. So if I'm trying to hit a high note, that is going to be based on exactly what I'm doing right here. Now, when you have your pinky within here, it is so much easier to press the instrument against my face like this, to the point where I can feel my teeth kind of being pushed up against my lips, and my teeth being pushed up against what the mouthpiece is doing. So when you do this, it's very easy for you to put all this pressure on here and damage your lips. Now, obviously, you can play without that. You can play without putting too much pressure on your lips with having your pinky in there. But we typically say this to beginners because a lot of times beginners kind of take things on the extreme end. And if they have this here, they just instinctively yank the instrument into their face, and we're trying to prevent that. So, how do you can tell that you're not using a lot of pressure? Well, the easiest thing is just to use your mouthpiece. So, I have a trombone euphonium mouthpiece right here. And one of the first things they want to teach you in terms of buzzing on a brass instrument, and one of the best ways to make sure that you're not using a lot of pressure, you only hold the mouthpiece with your thumb and your index finger. And you should be able to play a wider range of things just off of that. And you should be able to play pretty much all of your literature with just a mouthpiece, and with just a mouthpiece with just your thumb and your first finger, because this gives minimal amount of pressure on the actual mouthpiece against your lips. This allows your lips to buzz the way it's supposed to, and that putting pressure on it hinders part of your buzzing. Last part I want to talk about is just a personal story I had of mine about the dangers of putting a lot of pressure. And one thing that a lot of people don't stress enough is that if you put too much pressure on your face for a very long time, you can actually bust your lip. And I actually remember this in high school. We had a marching band performance, and I was playing with a whole bunch of pressure because I was just trying to play super, super loud and not understanding the true mechanics comes from the air and not the actual pressure on your mouthpiece. And right, right in the middle of the performance, I looked down at my instrument and my entire mouthpiece was bloody. And I realized, oh man, I busted my lips. And my entire mouth was bloody, my mouthpiece was bloody. It was not a good sight. And I had to actually like leave in the middle of the performance to wash my mouth out, wash my mouthpiece, and it was not a good feeling. And after that, my lips was sore. And as a brass player, once your lips gets busted, you have to recover for a few days. It's going to take a while before one, your lips stop hurting, and two, that you can get the strength back into your lips. And you don't want to cause permanent damage to your lips as well, which is why making sure that you're not playing with a lot of pressure is very, very important. So, again, one of the best things you could do, just take the mouthpiece off and try to play with just the mouthpiece with just your thumb and your index finger. So that you can work on not playing with a lot of pressure and using these little self checks to make sure that you are producing a good sound on your instrument and that you are using your lips in a way that it is healthy and that you can effectively play whatever you need to play without using pressure.